comedians, Joe Rogan included as the leader of them.
Right. Tell us more about that.
Yeah,
Oh, the
do tell us more about that.
90, I'd say 95, probably more, probably closer to 98% of all comedians in the world are globe earthers. And they go on stage and they just spew heliocentric bullshit. And I predicted in 2015 that that the comedians would start picking up the flat Earth versus globe Earth meme. So then I coined the term flat Earth comedy, flat Earth comedians, globe Earth comedians, just to make it obvious and label it. And because I've been in the comedy industry since 2009 when I drove from New York to Los Angeles to pursue my dreams of being a stand-up comedian, like George Carlin and Richard Pryor and the rest of those goofballs and
How's that
Bill
working out
Hicks.
for you? How's that working
Oh,
out?
I had to quit. They're all psychotic, parasitic demons.
And there's
Oh,
such a woke mentality with comedy now. You can't get into clubs if you're going to talk about, the things that we talk about, right? I mean, Jim Brewer's talked about that, and Owen Benjamin. They're the two exceptions. I mean, I think they're pretty flat, aren't they?
yeah, no, they're flat Earth comedians. But yeah, like you said, no, exactly on the button. I just checked out the lineup in Taos, New Mexico, at a burger stand place that I was doing comedy at, or just scouting comedy at, which is what I do because I quit, and or I'm just a failed comedian, as the Globe Earth comedians would tell me. I'm a failed comedian. I didn't make it. I'm like, dude, I didn't sell my soul. So you did. Enjoy soul, or the depths of soul, or shallow, or whatever you want to call it.
I,
But
I must admit, I always enjoyed watching Owen Benjamin's kind of flat Earth awakening live on on screen.
yeah, it was amazing.
Wasn't it?
Watching it live in person was amazing. I tried to connect Eric Dubay and him, and I did. And they were supposed to do a show together, Eric Dubay and Owen Benjamin. That was a huge deal back around 2017-ish. And no, Owen Benjamin, he's an alpha male, alpha dog, so he wanted to not be guided by Dubay, and to learn everything himself without another guy teaching him, because I don't know, his ego couldn't take it or whatever. But
Yeah.
I don't know, it's kind of shitty. It would have been great shows, and now they're enemies or whatever. But whatever. It's just endless drama, especially with all the freaking Jaren drama too. We'll get
Oh,
into that.
yeah, definitely. I wanted to say hi to a couple of people in the group chat. Hey, Truth Seeker 2, Jamie Boo, how you doing? Jesus Freak Computer Geek, how you doing? Welcome to the chat. To be fair, we might as well get straight into the Jaren thing because I think it's very relevant and topical at the minute. So, yeah, let's talk about Jaren. Oh, I don't know. Did you? I think we did. We spoke off air, should I say? And we saw his clip. Jaren's gone back to the ball.
Yeah, it's
Apparently,
crazy. I was talking to a female friend, and she said, who has some dirty info on Jaren that I won't get into and save him more embarrassment. And
Oh, you can't leave us hanging there, bro. You'd have to tell us off air, bro.
I will. So I'll tell you guys off air. I was talking to her before they went up there because I'm friends with Austin, and I thought I was at least accomplices, or a peer with Jaren, because he used to support my Patreon channel. He was the only one of my only members, paid members, and what was it? So that was probably why I was giving him some leeway to call myself out and expose myself. So what happened? So I told her, whatever, they're gonna go there. They're gonna probably see whatever, they're gonna try to see the 24-hour sun, and they're gonna make that fit into their model. She's probably in the live chat right now. And then I told her, because she's like, you predicted this would happen. I'm like, what? What did I say? She's like, you said, I hope Jaren doesn't do something dumb and go back to the globe. And yeah, I mean, that's basically what happened. And apparently, angles and the luminaries in the sky, so whatever's on the ceiling, you measure that, and that determines what's on the ground, apparently. So I don't know.
but he know like these are things that he's always said. He knows that. I just don't. I don't understand how somebody, and like I was talking to somebody today. He was in my Flat Earth Awakening in 2016. Jerry was one of the first people I came across. Him, and Mark Sargent, and I would listen to his podcasts on a night shift at work every night, and that was years and years and years ago. And I'm thinking about how much work, how many years, and how much work and research and the body of work that he has to just to completely do a 360 and just to go back to the globe. I just don't get it. How does that happen? It does. And make himself like an online pariah. Like, you see the hatred he's getting right now.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot easier to make globe Earth grift money than flat Earth grift money.
Do you think
flat Earth grift money is hard to do?
Yeah,
I've never grifted. It's no big deal. I don't give a shit how you make your money, but I know it's a fuck ton easier to make globe Earth grift money than, I mean, ask McToon and Craig McNeil fight the Fat Earth or the Fat T-shirt or whatever. And so I got off track. You were talking about with the woke culture and comedy. I'll go back to the Jaren shit in a second, but
yeah.
I was checking out the comedy stand in Taos, New Mexico, and it said on the comedy sign-up sheet, "No hate speech." And I'm like,
I mean,
I have
define hate speech. That could be anything, couldn't it?
It's insane. I was making up a bit. The whole bit is about hate speech. I'm like, man, I love hate speech. I love hate speech, and I'm like, I love it. So that means it's not hate speech. I'm being positive about hate speech, and so it's like you have to. They reverse everything. It's everything. It was like, what's his name? Crowley said it's just backwards and reversed, and it's said. It's crazy that you said the woke culture. You can't even do comedy, and I just commented a half hour ago, but hate speech is my favorite type of comedy, and it's like you can't even go ahead.
I always thought that comedy was the last bastion of for free speech.
Not anymore. Nah.
When you're conforming and you're
we had really good, like, you'll remember, James, like when we had like Roy Chubby Brown, or
he's still going. He's still going.
I mean, like Eddie Murphy, like for the Americans, like or Richard Pryor's, or where you could just say where you could make fun of any race, any culture, and it was all fair game. It was an equal playing field, and they could take the piss out of you. Being a black man like Eddie Murphy and just ripping the piss out of everyone. It's okay to do that, but people get that word offended. You can choose not to be offended. They're just fucking words. Whatever happened to sticks and stones will break my bones. So taking the piss out of Chinese people and black people and Pakistani people and Indian people. That's some of the funniest shit you'll ever hear. It's funny to laugh at it, all our, indifferences and that. That stuff is golden, but you can't. No. You can't say that. You can't say that.
Shout out to Steve Hughes and that's part of a Steve Hughes bit.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's it's almost verbatim. The offended part, the joke is called "I was offended." You look up offended Steve Hughes, and you'll find about an 8-minute bit. It's one of the most classic bits that I've ever listened to. He was a long-haired rock star comedian, but now he's been black.
He's Australian, isn't he?
Yeah. He's been blacklisted. I've talked to him just over FaceTime like this, and I was supposed to do an interview with him, but he kind of had a spiritual episode.
Yeah, I've heard him talk about he was didn't have he was having a breakdown almost. He's probably closer to the word, right?
When we were talking, he said he was having a full-blown like bout of psychosis when we were talking, and
wow.
I felt I was just talking to him like. I mean, honestly, we talked for like 2 hours, and I did majority of the talking, and he was just laughing, and I was telling me his issues and shit, and telling me he's blacklisted from all the clubs. He's basically homeless. He can't perform anywhere. All the places that he used to perform, he can't perform at. And
He was massive in the UK. He used to do like Live at the Apollo, which is like the biggest venue for comedians and televised, and so the biggest comedians in the UK for sure. Like will host that venue, and
he's back. He's back doing comedy, and he's doing some Tartarian and even a little. He's totally anti-science. He's not a full-blown flat Earth comedian yet, but he's definitely a globe Earth skeptic, and but he's 100% anti-science. That's I know that, and it's like just go the extra step, man. Just
Yeah.
and especially someone with that genius.
Mm.
He's a true Discordian saint, a true subgenius legend.
But
And
what a conflict that is, though, because if you go there, then it's the worst business decision he'll ever make. Because I've found out you won't be able to support yourself, and I guess that's kind of the conflict he's having. What do I do? I've got this information, I've got to relay it to an audience, but I can't because no one will let me relay it to an audience, and I can't pay the bills. It must be incredibly frustrating. Well, I share the frustration because I have
it's
exactly
hate speech, man.
yeah.
Telling the truth is hate speech.
Yeah, because Owen Benjamin, he was in the right in the center of Hollywood. He was on all the big shows. He was doing all the big gigs. He was getting Netflix specials, wasn't he? I'm sure he was. And then all of a sudden he started talking about various different things, and you could just see how he in Lifetime got cancelled, right?
Yeah, no, he's been well, not totally, but he kind of took himself out of it.
Yeah.
He's been blacklisted, and I mean, there's a bunch of certain. You guys probably don't know who Sam Hyde is, and people in the chat room probably don't know who he is. But Sam Hyde is another comedian who's just. I get my inspiration from these types of people because people don't really. I'm plugged into the comedy pipeline, so I know all of the comedic heroes that are unheard of, and Sam Hyde is he's one of them. And what was I trying to say? Like these people get blacklisted just for being incredible, dynamic, and radical thinkers. And their comedy is so bizarre, absurd, nonsensical, hate speech, and confrontational, and to opposition, everything mainstream, especially to the tiny small hats. And so that's just what happens. It's a tough it's a tough world to talk the truth in without people thinking you're being what help me out here, Alex. Without hate speech and racist and arrogant, egotistical, egomaniacal, and self-important. All it's like, dude, I haven't even told you any of my thoughts. I can't even, like you said, we in the first 2 minutes we have to use code words, and we can't even say what we really want to say because we'll get censored and called. It's I don't give a shit what it's so hard to say what you feel and what you think and how you truly feel because you're just gonna get censored, banned, and blacklisted and exiled.
It's disgusting. I refer to YouTube being on the YouTube platform as being in a toxic relationship. I mean, imagine if you was actually in a relationship with a woman who said you can't say that, and every time you said something, she'd punish you for the things that she didn't want you to say. Right? I'm taking away your car now. You know, like YouTube. Well, I'm taking away your channel. Well, this video is going. If you was in an actual relationship like that, you'd want a divorce. But trying to get people away from YouTube is like pulling teeth. I put a video out, 20,000 views it got. Interestingly, I've got 80,000 subscribers. It should be way more than 20,000, but that was one of my good videos. Normally I get about 5,000. And I said to people, right, I'm on Patreon now, I'm on Rumble, I'm on these other, I want to build up my presence there. Do you know how many people actually took the incentive to go, okay, let's go over to these other platforms where he can speak freely? Like literally nobody. Well, not literally, there are a few, but literally a few, just a handful of people. Just trying to get people away from these platforms is why are people so married to YouTube? It's so frustrating.
It's a difficult one, Alex. You know yourself. It's just I love Rumble because you can see whatever you want over there at the minute. But it just doesn't. It doesn't. Do you feel you've got accounts over there, right? Do you feel it just doesn't get the same? Again, you're being censored on YouTube, but it just doesn't get the same traffic, does it?
No, it doesn't get the same traffic, but the numbers make more sense. I've got 500, only 500 followers on Rumble, but when I put an interview like this out there, it gets about 500 views. So the views match the subscribers.
Right. Okay.
Get on YouTube and
Yeah.
see the difference. It's obviously it's obvious what's going on.
It's frustrating, Alex, though, especially like someone like yourself, like an artist like you, where you're putting your heart and soul into creating all this music, and go on, sorry.
No, it's absolutely soul destroying, and I've said on many a stream, like, I'm questioning whether I can continue going forward doing this, because if I'm putting not just my heart and soul and the best of intentions into it, but all of my time is going on this stuff. You know, my videos take months to make,
Yeah.
and if I'm doing something that, and I want to do that, I love doing this stuff, and I want to do it for a living, but if the financials are not there, then how can I possibly do it? I've got bills just like everybody else. You know, I haven't got free electricity and free rent and free this and free that. I've still got bills to pay. So I'm trying to think, like, how can I continue going forward doing this? That's why I ask for support, for people to support me on Patreon. But, you know, hardly anyone does that either. So it's like, support what you like, or what you like goes away. So I'm like, at the fork in the road now, thinking, well, how can I possibly continue going? But when you know, I'm not asking for like making 10 grand a month. Like a couple of grand a month would be nice, so that will sort me out. And you know, but I can't even get to that point at the moment with it. So I don't really know what the answer is. It certainly doesn't lie in Rumble and BitChute and these alternative platforms, because like you say, it's like a graveyard over there. So
Yo, TikTok's back. You do really well on TikTok, man.
apparently so, but yeah, I see a lot of my stuff shared on, you know, TikTok and Facebook and all of that, and that's great. That, you know, I see it with hundreds of thousands of views. You know, I just wish I got $1 for every view. You know, that would really fucking help, or fucking 10 cents for every view. That would really help. But you know, it's just. And I hate to be the one sitting here pissing and moaning about not making money, because as soon as you start talking about making money in the truther community, you're a shill, you're in it for the money. But no, I'm an artist making music. If I wasn't doing truth music and I was just making love songs, no one would question it. But because I'm doing truth stuff, no, you can't charge for that. It's fundamentally wrong to charge for an album with truth music. You should give it away for free.
Truth
Am
must
I
be
fucking
free.
retarded?
No, yeah, truth must be free. These people freak out. I'm like, dude, I've been working for free for fucking over 12 years, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I had to get a job recently, for fuck's sake. And I mean, I working at a brewery and getting decent pay, and finally have some money to come in to pay for my fucking vehicle and shit, but which just died. My muffler fell off while driving. Then my tire fell off while driving, and then my axle just fell off while driving. It just happened.
No
It's like,
good
dude,
deed goes unpunished, right?
Alex, can you link your YouTube channel in the chat, please, mate? If you could.
I can indeed. I'm sure
I'll
most of the people
I'll
watching.
share my link tree is there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's, dude, people freak out. You say, yo, could you pay me $1 per month? And they're like, yo, dude, that's a bit much, man.
Yeah, right.
Yo, it's like,
A fucking homeless person could afford that, for fuck's sake.
It's. I mean, again, I'm such a. When you start doing this, really, I kind of lost my passion for it for a while, so I've taken a long break from doing it. But finally feel like I've got my mojo back, and I want to be creative again. But it's just like when you go out your way to try and find good guests, you research them, you interview them, write all the questions down, whatever, upload it, and then YouTube instantly delete it and give you a strike. It's so disheartening that you did all that and just in a split second, because you used a certain word or you referenced something, it's gone. So when I've had about a good 6 or 7 episodes just deleted, and she threats to take down the channel, and it's just like, why do you even bother if you can't talk about the things you want to talk about?
Disgusting, mate.
yeah.
And I'm nobody. I'm just somebody in a loft in his house talking with people. Why do I need to be completely silenced? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've seen your stuff for coming on a few years, definitely a couple years, but coming on a few years, and I'm like, oh man, I think I remember we talked on a couple of comments on some of your stuff, and I'm like, yo, yeah, I'd love to be on that stuff or something, maybe once or twice, and you're like, yeah, and yeah, dude, I appreciate you reaching out. Like I said, I don't really join anyone's stuff anymore unless they ask me to be on. I'm a sensitive guy and I like to be invited to things. And so I appreciate it,
No,
man,
no, it's good.
because
It's good. It's like me and Alex always talk about. So many of us are actually friends online for years and years and years, and we interact all the time. We inbox and we comment on each other's status, but you realize that you've not even actually spoken to these people properly, and it's just like. So it's always good to finally put a face to a name and to learn something new about somebody. So you're more than welcome. It's good to have you on. I wish Mike had turned up.
yeah, Mike,
Yeah,
F
Mike.
you. F you, Mike. Um,
No, we love you, Mike. We love you, Mike.
no, yeah, he's a good kid.
Yeah, man.
Uh, um, I'm gonna say, oh yeah, so I had about, I looked at my Patreon. I had a whopping $147 saved up, so I just transfer that over to my PayPal, and now my PayPal's up to a whopping $420. So
You're good to go,
I'm
but hey,
rolling in the dough over here.
Shill confirmed. If you're making money out of the truth, bro, you're a shill.
Listen, I can't even get to 1,000 subscribers, so I can't even monetize myself.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. Yeah, I somebody was saying something about you're making money. You're flat Earth grifting, and I showed him a screenshot of my Patreon. I make $2 a month, you dumb fuck.
Yeah. People think like because I've got almost 80,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I've spoken to somebody else who has 100,000 subscribers who's doing really benign stuff, just playing the keyboard, just shows his hands and shows you how to just play popular songs. He lives here. And I asked him, how much money do you make on your YouTube channel? He went about $3 or $4 a month. I'm like, $3 or $4 a month? I make $100 a month on my channel with how the fuck? I mean, someone explain that to me, how that works.
Alex, the scene, there's somebody in the chat called The Scene says, I bet you're doing a few quid playing in the bars and clubs in Benidorm, Alex.
Oh, mate, I've done that. I've done that for so many years.
Yeah, you would though.
I probably would. I mean, I've got that to fall back on, to be fair. So,
if you were desperate for money and just wanted to get out there and play, you could easily just do that.
Oh, but that's selling my soul, like me singing in a Benidorm bar, singing Brown Eyed Girl and Robbie Williams' Angels. I'll be like, oh, what have I come to?
I can imagine. Like Dan, before you came on, I asked because we were talking about Jaren, right? And my question to Alex is: does everybody have a price? And so my hypothetical question to you, or to everybody in the chat as well. Somebody offers you £10 million cash to go back on everything you've ever talked about, to say the Earth is a globe, you got it all wrong, and just go back on everything you stood for. 10 million. I know. Obviously, it's a hypothetical question. We're on a live. You're not really going to say yes. Of course, I would do that.
$10 million.
But you would think about it, right? You'd think about it, right? Surely.
I'm thinking about it right now.
You were like, it's a ball. It's a ball.
I'd say it's a turtle. Okay, we live on a turtle.
Show me the money. Show me the money.
Show me the money. What's that?
Show me the money, and I'll be a turtle earther. Okay.
Turtle. Concave turtle.
Hey man,
it's a tough one. That's a tough one though, because people are asking the question: how can Jaren go back? What's the reason? Why would he do such a thing? Do that? Is there money? Is it mental health? What? Because he's not really had an epiphany and went to Antarctica and seen the sun and went, all right, it's a globe now. Surely.
Yeah, like I said, it's just easier to globe Earth grift than to flat Earth grift. So
even if you like just turn yourself into a social pariah for that doesn't matter.
The victim mentality is real, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It sucks, but the spiritual and psychological warfare is rampant and never ending. And unless you become some sort of bodhisattva where you're fucking totally disassociated and attached and in a blissful state 24/7 somehow, I don't know how one does that, but I don't know. It's like I said, it's easier to make money and to be supported in the globe Earth side than it is on the flat Earth side. So that's the only thing I could say, and
Yeah.
that's probably the reason. I mean, he's sick of. I don't know. It's just it's all ad homs on his side now and shit. It's like this can only be true on a this perfect. The globe Earth predicts this perfectly, and it's like
Yeah.
what? What are you talking about? It's like,
I was reading that. I was like, what? Run Boston Bear says, "Yo, Alex the legend." Oh, he is a little bit of a legend. He is a little bit of a legend. 70 euros, Alex, in a Only Fools and Horses bar in Benidorm, singing covers.
Oh, I did that. I did that for 20 years, mate. I mean,
Yeah.
I much prefer the comfort of my own, and I can reach more people from the comfort of my own
Yeah, of
home.
course.
I
yeah,
said before, like I get invited to conferences all over the world, and I always say no because, like, what's the point of doing all that traveling, which I fucking hate? I absolutely hate traveling. Not that I'm scared of flying. I just hate the whole airport thing and being treated like cattle and all of that, and being
yeah.
treated like a terrorist every time you fucking just wanted to board a plane. So there's all of that. I absolutely loathe traveling, but even at a very very good conference, let's say there's 1,000 people there, and I have to do a lot of rehearsal, and there's a lot that goes into performing a gig. I did it in Denver in 2008, and so much that goes into it, so much jet lag and a lot of stress. Came back actually quite ill. I thought, why do that when I can go in my studio, do a live gig in my studio, and reach 10,000 people? So it's a numbers game to me. Why leave the comfort of my own home? So but these days obviously it's a lot more difficult to reach a lot of people because of everything we spoke about, all the censorship and that. So it's very, very frustrating. But I don't know what the fucking answer is, mate. Like I said, I'm at a fork in the road. I just walk away. This community, so-called community, has become so toxic. I used to think I was part of something great, but now I just want to walk away from it because it's just horrible.
It
My
is.
wife, she says, because I have the laptop on every evening, I'm listening to all sides of the argument because I want to, I want to drink it all in. I want to see who's saying what. So I'm listening to everything. And she'll walk out the room. She'll go, "Why are you listening to that toxic shit?" I fuck, because she's a real empath. She'll go, "Oh, I hate it. I absolutely hate listening to that stuff because it's someone over here going, chill, 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 chill. Someone over here going, fake, 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 chill, chill." And it's like, to me, it's the most fascinating movie I've ever watched. I don't take it to bed with me. I don't get stressed over it. I think she does, though. She has to walk out the room because it's just,
It's very draining.
yeah, it really
Yeah.
is. It really is, yeah.
And to expand further on what you were saying, Michael, um, Terrence McKenna thought the same thing in the late 80s and the early 90s. He was sick and tired of traveling all over the world and showing up to an audience of 30 or 50 people. And it's like, dude, I'm traveling. You guys are wanting me to go all over the world and travel and spend all this money. And then, um, I show up to a room of 30 or 50 people. It just seems like a waste. And so he was a futurist and tapped into the cyberdelic, which is like a combination of psychedelic and the digital world. So the cyberspace, cyberdelic, and so he, just like Timothy Leary did before him, and at the same time, they were both cyberdelic people. Same with Robert Anton Wilson. They both anticipated what we're doing right now, and they anticipated that in the early '90s. Matter of fact, Tim Leary recorded his final moments on a live stream, and it's like with an audience, and it's like that's how ahead of the time these people were. And Terrence McKenna specifically said, yeah, I'm rather just do these face-to-face digital cyber talks in cyberspace, because this cyberspace is a reality in itself. It's a virtual reality, a digital reality, but it's also superimposed on the real reality. A real objective, supposedly objective reality that we're talking in right now is superimposed, and it's totally combined with the cyberdelic cyberspace. We're I mean, dude, talking to a layman about this shit, like somebody at my work, I'm trying to explain to him what was it, a DMT and psychedelic time traveling elves and shit, and,
The forklift driver.
Dude, he was like totally. I mean, this is somebody that at least I could talk to a little bit, but he was clueless as to what I was saying, and I'm like, yo, yeah, the DMT world is supposedly it's a place that you go to, you smoke it or you drink it in an ayahuasca brew, and then the Wizard of Oz curtain gets lifted up, and then you see behind the veil, but it's like this whatever that world is right here right now with us. It's like it's super these DMT elves are jumping in and out of the screen, going into people's heads and hearts, affecting them. They don't know it. They're just I know this is talking crazy, and I'm a crazy person for saying this, but all the scientific reports of all the people in the world, scientists included, they're all saying the same shit. You meet these entities, these beings, and they usually are a dark sense of humor, and they give you profound insights and shit. But then you have the spiritual new age community and they'll say that you're talking with demons and you're making contracts with demonic entities and antichrist entities. And it's like, dude, the DMT elves taught me about love and how to be more loving. So apparently getting profound spiritual messages from DMT elves about how to be more loving in this world is satanic, and they're satanic being. It's like, what? That doesn't make any sense, dude. But
wouldn't that depend on the type of person who's taking the DMT and the type of frame of mind that they're in? If they're an alcoholic, stressed out of their fucking brains or whatever, got a terrible life, terrible lifestyle, terrible diet, and they think that DMT is the answer, do you think it's more likely that they're probably going to have some sort of bad spiritual experience and meet these demonic kind of entities?
yeah, as David Lynch said, and he recently passed, David Lynch said that if you take if you read a book with a golf ball sized consciousness, you'll come away from the book with a golf ball sized understanding of the book. If you read the book with a watermelon sized consciousness, then you'll walk away with a watermelon sized understanding. It's much bigger, and just psychedelics don't make spiritually bankrupt people rich. You can't just take these power plants and psychedelics and natural holistic medicines and expect to be cured of all of your ailments. I mean, I haven't taken any of this shit in over a decade. I first off, as Terrence McKenna said, it's good to have a healthy amount of fear before you take this shit. Otherwise, it's gonna humble the fuck out of you. I mean, I like you said, dude, I just to even take a heroic dose of mushrooms, I had to take a few shots of Jack Daniels just to get myself to do it. And then it was showing me what a dumb idiot I was, and it was like, dude, you shouldn't have mixed the alcohol with this. And I was just having a horrible time on the couch hugging a dog with a horrible stomach ache. And no, I mean, dude, I was 20. I'm pushing 40 now. I mean, I've been doing this shit and pushing this shit out for fucking for nearly 20 years. Like I started really getting into what this universe is about 20 years ago. I started writing about it in a book that I was supposed to publish. And the book is still out there. In the book, I said in the first like unit or chapter or whatever I was calling it, I said, I don't know if this book will ever be published. And this was 20 years ago. I don't know if this is going to be a TV show, a comic book, a movie script, or if I'll ever even publish this fucking book. And in the first unit, called Unit 1, the past, then Unit 2, the present, Unit 3, the future, I was describing the heliocentric model, time and evolution, in this supposed ball that we're on. And I was making fun of satellites and the whole concept of the universe and satellites going out to space and being cameras and taking pictures of the universe. Say cheese, universe. Say cheese, Earth. I'm a satellite camera taking pictures from 13 billion light years away. The cosmic microwave background. And it's like, dude, how do you know all this shit? You can't. There's no way you can know this shit. The universe is 14.7. No, it's 14.9 billion years. we're coming on the 15th billion birthday of the universe. How do you know this shit? It's impossible.
Because of the cosmic radiation background, of course. Of
Dude,
course.
it's so fucking ludicrous. I mean,
And they'll show you some graphic. They'll say the cosmic radiation background. They'll just show you some graphic. What?
Hey,
dude, it's
spectroscopy, bro.
It's because of the red.
it's crazy, man.
Because of a red color.
So yeah, I mean, like, oh yeah, red shift, blue shift, yeah.
Yeah.
So then, like, I had traumatic shit happen in my life, and that leads me down spiritual rabbit holes and trying to connect with the dead, and then psychedelics will help me connect with the dead. Okay, well then I'm going to take psychedelics and try to connect with the dead, and then I'm reading all types of spiritual books, and then I start book collecting, and
Dan, sorry
then
to interrupt. Is this a regular practice you do DMT, or as you say, the last time you did it was 10 years ago, or you do this regularly?
it was like 12 years ago.
Oh, right. It's not a regular thing you do then.
No.
Because you're speaking like everyone should do this. It's a profound experience, and I've heard many people having profound experience. I have also heard people having terrible demonic experiences.
I didn't. Sorry, just to jump in, but I haven't gone as far as DMT. But I was at a festival last year called Stand in the Light, and I had my first experience. I've always stayed away from psychedelics. I was scared of it. If I'm honest, didn't know. Actually scared. As a grown man, I was of the unknown, as we all are. And I'm at this festival with my friends in this great location, and sitting in this field with long grass and trees and tents, and surrounded with my friends. And I kid you not, I've not seen the world as it was. I was looking at the world in 10K. The colors, how clear everything was. I was thinking, is this how life really is all the time anyway? But we're just like dumbed down with so much TV and drugs and pharmaceuticals and spray that we don't see with our third eye, our pineal glands just calcifying. Because I was just like. I was sitting in this field looking at the sun going down and having these. I was closing my eyes and having like these Inca, these beautiful shapes and like all the kind of Inca god looking things. I can't explain.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it justice by trying to explain it, but it was amazing. It took me to a place I've never been before, and I loved it.
Do you remember? Do you remember when you? Sorry, do you remember when you was over, James? I think you was over for 10 days, and Ben and Jamie was here, and I got some mushrooms in. Did you partake in that? Because we all took.
I did, but that was a different feeling that day.
Well, I've done mushrooms a few times, and one time I had some friends round, and I was incredibly stressed and incredibly tired, and I took some mushrooms, and it just amplified my stress, and I was absolutely exhausted. But in the right company, when I'm not stressed, and I was really excited when you came over, and we had such a blast, and I took mushrooms in that moment. I had the best, most euphoric. I mean, I didn't take a massive dose, probably 7 grams, something like that, and they were truffles.
That's a pretty massive dose.
Well, they were truffles, but it was like you say, everything was in like 10K, everything, all the colors were vibrant. I was laughing. I just remember my belly aching so much from laughing. When you're in the right company, in the right frame of mind, that's when you should be doing that stuff.
Yeah, Dan,
Dan,
somebody in the group chat's asking, what is a heroic dose of mushrooms?
5 grams in silent darkness.
Wow. Okay.
5 grams in silent darkness.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. That'll be some profound shit there.
Whoa.
And Terrence McKenna says, doesn't sound really much fun, does it? It isn't.
Whoa. No.
Do you want to dance with the devil, man? That's the question. I mean, I guess it depends on your...
That's Whoa.
your makeup, I guess. If you're a good person and you have good intentions going into it, and you, I don't know, maybe you should meditate, or I don't know, just fucking pray before you go into that, I guess.
Terrence would lock himself in his room and go into the closet and
Whoa.
be in total dark silence. And he's like, yeah, you don't need. And he would roll what he called a bomber. So right when the peak of the mushrooms was coming on, then he'd smoke it and go off into hyperspace. He goes, then I smoked my bomber and it'd
Has
be
anyone ever have you ever heard of anybody like dying from doing that shit?
no, no.
Okay. I'm in.
The
I'm
short
in.
answer.
I'm in.
Jenny Spark says, "Much love, Alex. Mushrooms
Well,
are much love,
Your
Alex.
ego
Mushrooms are a great
dying, yeah,
medicine."
that's for damn sure.
Yeah.
You're, they say, oh, the comedy place just responded back to me. I dang, I want to read it. The market. Oh, he's probably saying the market's already full of hate speech or something like that. But, yeah. So Tim Leary, he would say just setting, and intention.
Right.
So you're setting, and then set your intentions, and then for the DMT, it's different. Terrence, I did exactly what Terrence said, which is you put a little reefer at the bottom of a bowl, you shave some DMT into the bowl, put a little more reefer on top, and you have a screen at the bottom as well. So it's all congratulating, whatever that word is. I forgot the word. I'm just yeah. So then you take the first rip, again, set settings with the DMT as well and intention. Yeah, I mean, turn your phone off. I turned the lights off. I was in the basement right before I went to work. I mean, you take the first rip, you hold that bitch in for 20 seconds. You blow it out. You take the second rip, hold that bitch in for 20 seconds. You now the shit's starting to disintegrate reality on the second rip. And most people, they probably quit on the second rip because they're already fucking gone. Me, I was like, I was like, I had the bowl in my hand, and I'm like, I go like this to try to get rid of it and drop it. It's sticking to my hand. I'm like, look, I'm trying to let go of the bowl, and then I hear Terrence, because I wrote on a whiteboard like, talk to Terrence, and it said, it's like, he goes, you must take the third rip. And so then I took the third rip, and then yeah, then you whoop, and then you're in a different realm. Oh yeah, I remember a fucking spiral magma dragon was going into me, and they're like, "You're being possessed by dragon demons," and so this magma magma dragon is going into me, and all of the electricity, and I can see through my skin into my veins, and it's all blue electricity. And I'm like, dude, I'm an electric being right now. I'm like, and then I was talking with the DMT elves about time, and oh yeah. So I was telling the guy I go, this is when I was actually active and doing stand-up comedy on stages and shit. The last time I did stand-up comedy was 2017, 2018.
Dan, can I just pause there, because there's a couple of people seeing in the chat, screaming at me at the chat. Alex and Dan, learn your friend James flat thumbs. What's flat thumbs?
Oh yeah.
I can't see. Come on, Alex, show me. Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Is that literally it?
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Flat
And
thumb.
anyway, everyone in the chat, put a 1 in the chat if you'd like to party with Dan, because I know I would.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. sorry, Dan, go on.
So I instead of coming up with a comedy bit, my idea of a comedy bit and being funny was not having any material, and then using the DMT to make up my bit. So I go, all right, instead of coming up with a bit tomorrow and going on stage, I'll just smoke DMT, and then I'll tell everybody what happened the next day, and it'll be fucking hilarious. And so then when I was under the influence of the DMT, tripping in hyperspace, talking with DMT elves, mostly they were making fun of me. So that I like pulled a Jim Morrison. I was I was thinking about, all right, I'll lay down on stage and I'll face the wall. So I'm laying down and facing the opposite direction. And I'm doing the comedy laying down on the ground. And they're like, the elves are making fun of me. They're like, nah, dude, that's not funny. That's just weird. And so then they're like, I was thinking about time in my life. And they're like, yo, he's thinking about time. He's thinking about his life. And then one of the elves came up to me and he's like, hey, you are time.
Oh shit.
And I'm just like, dude, it blew me away. Because I have my own theories on time travel and what time actually is, and I'm like, all right, so then time, so that means that I'm time, like the god Kronos or something like that, and everybody is time. Your time, James. Your time, Michael. Everybody is a fragment of time, and we all come together and we live on a clock, and we're some sort of timepiece, some time clock, and it's like dude, it's it's unknowable. The real reality is so bizarre and so strange. We cannot know. I mean, it's the unknowable.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's by definition, it's not, you cannot know it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you could know the unknowable, it wouldn't be the unknowable. so, I don't know. Even trying to talk about this shit is it scares people away. I mean, I told the dude at work the other day. I was telling him about this exact story, and he was like this, like this fucking like just he's like, dude, that's wild. It is wild. I can I've said that story a dozen times in a dozen different ways, a dozen different interviews, and every time I can't look at the chat room right now, but because my computer's dead, but there are probably people freaking out in the chat room right now. It's demonic. It's satanic. It's like, dude, yeah, no, there's this the real. It's like I haven't given up, but like seeking isn't really in me anymore. I'm devoted to other things now. I'm devoted to being more kind to people, more more approachable, more social, and that's harder than to me than I do a study group every Monday now for it's an anthroposophical study group. Rudolf Steiner is the creator of the Anthroposophical Society and anthroposophy, which is spiritual science. And I was into spiritual science in 2007, 2008, 2009. And the spiritual, it's like back then it was called spirit science. And there was a channel, he's talking about Atlantis and Lemuria and how the Atlanteans were once living with the Lemurians, but then the Atlanteans are like the Anunnaki, and they created a little side civilization, and they didn't want to. So it's like, dude, like this is in a different epoch. This is millennia ago, so whatever, 6,000 whatever years ago, when and it's like, dude, we can barely remember what was going on 200 years ago. So, like 200 years ago, people's state of mind was totally different than our state of mind right now.
Yeah.
They didn't even see each other the way you and I are seeing each other. It was 500 years ago. It was what? It was probably like a haze, like a blurry haze. People didn't even try to remember people's names.
Yeah.
It's like how can you know about something? And like even dude, the oldest books that I have are from the 1700s. And I don't know, man. All my intentions and all my research has been jarred, and I've had a lot of I did a pre-show right before this show on my YouTube channel, which I haven't created any content for in years, like I told you guys. And I just now I can go live on my phone and stuff. I'm going to start creating more content, but and talking about my Rudolf Steiner Waldorf education and spiritual science via anthroposophy. That shit is esoteric secret societies. This is Rudolf Steiner died 100 years ago in 1923. By the way, he had many assassination attempts, and the big guy in Germany that everyone likes to they banned the hitman. Uh, you know the I can't you can't say his name over the YouTube, right?
Not sure.
So he banned anthroposophical lectures and meetups. And so it's like I'm a part of something that the hitman banned. It's like and also all I'm doing we're reading a book called Love and Its Meaning in the World. I'm reading a book by Rudolf Steiner, a study group out loud. We're on like the last chapter, Love and Its Meaning in the World. So it's like reading about love and its meaning in the world. He's talking about faith and hope and imagination and inspiration and intuition. All this shit that is just glossed over. No one, it's all just thrown like that's not, I mean, I'm using this shit is important. I've overlooked the so much shit. I've been like this. The basic shit is coming back to me. My
Yeah.
inspiration's coming back to me. My intuition's coming back to me. I'm like, dude, I'm not even. I look at my old videos from 10 years ago, and I'm like, or 8 years ago, my flat Earth stuff, and I'm like, dude, I was putting so much effort and so much research, crystallizing a decade of research into 5 minutes, and I'm like, wow, look how, I mean, I'm tooting my own horn, patting myself on, but I'm like, dude, I will watch my own videos from 8 years ago, 10 years ago, and I make myself laugh, and I'm like, dude, how can I'm funny, dude, I'm like, I'm actually being funny, I'm making myself laugh. I mean, if you can make your if you think it's funny and you think it's good content, then fuck them. Fuck
Yeah.
what everyone else thinks.
Yeah.
They don't. Guess what? If you're concerned about what are it, fuck them. Fuck them if they can't take a joke and they don't like you that much anyway. So
Yeah.
and they're not gonna support you that much. As Alex said, he's had 80,000 people and he can barely get freaking over $100 support on his Patreon. The most
crazy.
I ever had was 12 or 13 members on my Patreon, and I was making like $77, $80 a month. That was at my peak.
Yeah.
And they're all gone because I can't make any content. All my computer's broke. I stopped my Nikon P900 broke. By the way, the Nikon P1100 just came out.
Nice, nice. Dan, can I just stop you there? Can you do you know Truth Seeker 2 in the chat? You know
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you send him a link? We're gonna let him jump. We're gonna let him jump into the conversation, mate. Send him the Zoom link. You guys don't mind, do you?
Not at all.
Yeah,
No.
no.
Cool.
He's a bit of a he's a bit on the slow side. Not like not slow.
He's
But like,
listening to you right now. You know that.
yeah, no, dude, I've told him to shut up and like stop interrupting me and shit, so he knows how I am.
Right. Okay. Okay.
But no, I mean that because he speaks like Dutch or something, like a different
Austrian.
language.
Austrian.
Austrian, okay, yeah.
Oh, you know as well, Alex. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've been on his show a few times. Yeah.
Oh
so he's
yeah,
very
man. Okay, cool. Let's get him on there.
Alex, could you share him it?
Did I?
Can you send him the Zoom link?
Ooh. Fuck.
All right. There's two things I hate in the world: people who are intolerant of other people's ethnicities, and the Dutch. All right, hold on. Let me I'll get it. I'll send him the link. Hold on.
Right,
Okay,
perfect,
cool.
perfect.
But yeah, so I mean,
Sorry, what's his name? What's his real name when he comes in?
Manny.
Manny. Okay, cool.
All right, so let me go to share. Only the host can share this meeting.
Oh, jeez. Right. Can I change that 1 second?
So yeah, you see how passionate and animate I get because like I haven't done this in so long, and it's like my passion and shit's coming back, and I don't know. It's like
It's a crying shame because you're clearly a wealth of knowledge, and I've known you for a few years online. We don't connect so much, like this, but I get a good feeling of your intent and your knowledge, and the fact that you have to fucking, that you have to go and do the 9 to 5. It fucking kills me, man.
it kills me too, man. Seriously. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
desperate.
yeah.
That's how desperate I
Alex, do
am.
you have his
I work,
phone number? Somebody send me his number.
I don't have his phone number, no.
hold on, let me here. I think I can do this. So
He's on Facebook. He's Dave Sheffield.
Right, let me. Okay, let me.
I'll get him. I'll get him.
All right.
I'll just copy and paste the thing that you sent me,
Yeah,
James.
yeah.
Okay, and then I'll okay, I got it. See what I mean? It slows down the train. We're on a train here, guys.
Jenny Spark says, God is real. It's important. Don't let them take that from your mind. Alex, shout out to Alex. Yep, Jesus is. Satan is real. Guess who else is?
Shout out to all the legends in the chat. Run Boston Bear. Lowry's in the chat as well. Who else is there? Jenny, good girl she is.
Santos Bonacci is going to give me an astrology reading later, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Ooh, interesting.
That's pretty cool.
Dude, I mean, it's he gave me a nice discount because we've been friends for a while, and we used to work together in the Syncretism Society.
Just make sure during that conversation you don't talk about diet. As soon as you talk about eating meat and shit like that, he'll go fucking mental.
Hey, I'm one of the only carcass crunchers he likes, so I love that guy. No, dude, I appreciate it. I've been wanting to get an astrology reading from him for fucking a decade, so I finally got a hold of him today, and yeah, I'm excited about the astrology reading. I mean,
Do you mind if I ask what would he charge for something like that? I might be interested.
well, on his website, the Universal Truth School, I think it's 200 or $250,
Okay.
but I got a really nice discount, and I already paid him. So
I'll save up my YouTube revenue for 2 or 3 months, and then I'll be able to afford it.
Yeah, you might be singing in the bars before you know it, mate.
It's that far away at the moment, mate. When I'm in fucking Bob's bar in Benidorm singing Brown Eyed Girl, I've failed at life.
I can just imagine someone's like with some grainy video from Benidorm. Like, somebody tell me that's not Alex Michaels in this pub.
What a sad day it is for the truth movement.
like first Jaren, and now conspiracy music guru.
Yeah, singing songs about the world turning.
yeah.
Did you send Dan? Did you send that to him?
Yeah, I do.
He's still not here.
So
Wait, where were we? Where were we?
Well,
just talking about secret societies and shit.
Go on, Alex.
You wanted to touch on the Jaren thing, and you wanted to go back to that. I mean,
Let's go back to the Jaren thing. Yeah.
You take over, Mike, or Alex.
This puts me in a very, very difficult position because I'm a friend of Jaren's of sorts. I've done a lot of music for him over the years. I wouldn't say we're best buddies, but I was going to say I grew up with Jaren, but I kind of feel like I did grow up with you because when I came to this understanding, like Jaren was one of the first people that were there, and to flip on that, like all of that, it just makes no sense to me. I have a feeling in my gut. I trust my gut, and I just feel that there's something fundamentally wrong with doing that flip on everything you've been presenting for the last 10 years. So for me, it makes absolutely no sense. And I'm like, use Occam's razor. If it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. If it looks like a duck, smells like a duck, fucking walks like it's a fucking duck. So where do I go with that? It puts me in an incredible difficult situation when someone I actually, I didn't agree with everything he said, but I absolutely appreciated the information he was putting out. It got me to where I am today. You know, I have a completely different mindset. I have Jaron to thank for that, and amongst others as well. And for him to, like, one of the most prominent flat earthers, to do a flip because of something that he saw that he wasn't expecting. Okay, it gives us a lot of questions. It's made us think, and we should be, you know, we should be getting, you know, we should be unified by this information. But instead, it's just ripping the whole community apart. And for the most prominent flat earther to do a complete 180 and just disregard everything he's been teaching for the last 10 years is fucking insanity to me. I just don't get it. It's like, what the fuck is going on? So I have to, you know, I've got questions. Of course, everyone's got questions, but so I don't really know. I mean, I'm just watching the shit show unfold. Like I said, it's the most enthralling movie I've ever watched. So I'm sort of staying behind. I'm not voicing opinions. I don't want to be on any side. I don't want to be in any camps. I've just got my popcorn here and I'm watching the shit show unfold.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely fascinating to me, but it's incredibly curious to me and baffling why someone like that would just do a complete 180 flip. So I have questions. That's all I'm going to say on the subject.
Jenny says maybe if he wasn't so focused on his own balls.
She knows.
It's
She
true.
knows.
How many females? How many? No, in fact, I'm not even going to get involved in that side of it. It's